Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your research-based report, the writing assignment number 4, your rough draft. So you'll see here I have the PDF of the components. This is the PDF of the assignment itself, and these are the components listed in red for the research-based report. I'm just going to go through item by item to share with you what you should have included and where we've seen it and where we need to adjust some things. So you have this title page that looks perfect. Excuse me, your letter of transmittal. Now this needs to be a little bit different. You want to make sure that you have, you follow the format, and you can see that letter of transmittal format. It's listed in week 6 in the assignment file. You want to make sure that you're not saying, Dear Mr. Tim, you say Mr. White. And in your letter of transmittal, you want 3 small paragraphs, like 2 sentences each. The first sentence says, enclosed, please find my report titled Stress in the Work Environment. It is the result of the research you authorized in the memo of last month. Next paragraph. So that first paragraph is just 2 sentences. This is what you're going to find, and this is where it was authorized. Next paragraph. Brief overview. This report looks at stress in our workplace and offers recommendations to mitigate it. Period. End. The final thing is, or offers ways our company can help to mitigate. And then finally, the last paragraph is, thank you in advance for your time and consideration. Period. Sincerely, Taisha Sams. So you want to take a look at those example letters of transmittal because they're a little different. They're not this personal, and there is a distinct format that you want to make sure you follow. Here's your executive summary. This is beautiful. I love how you use these headings. You want to make sure that you have in here also, to mitigate these, a recommendation. You want to have a third, well, maybe you could have findings, and then the third heading, recommendations. So I would separate these findings and recommendations because they're very different. So, here's the problem, here's the findings, here's the recommendations. And then moving into your table of contents, you want to go back and double check the, I think it's week 3 where APA is introduced, and there's a link to show how to do table of contents in APA format. You want to make sure that you do that. So then we go in here, an introduction to the study. This is great according to research, period, not research conducted, just in general. According to scholarly research, work-related stress is increasing in all, most parts of the world. I would say is increasing globally, period. The increase is attributed to growing world GDP and some companies that has seen companies engage in more. I would take that off. The increase is attributed to a growing world GDP. The population rise, and the world population has also been rising, and this means fewer job opportunities for job seekers. So this together with the increase in world population has resulted in fewer job opportunities. These 2 factors expose employees to long working hours, higher workloads, and job insecurity, period. So you've given those 2 factors. So what I would do is comb through here, and what you want to do is be clear, concise, and concrete. You want to use active voice, everything in present tense. Make sure that the subject is the item doing the action. And then make certain that it's all in present tense, because the purpose of research is to show factually what you have found, not to suggest what you found, not to sort of, give an understanding, but just to show, here's what the research shows. GDP is on the rise, population's on the rise, jobs are not. This causes stress. And so you want to be as clear, concrete, and possible as clear, concrete, and concise. Short and to the point. The purpose of the research is to find causes of employee stress in my organization and come up with effective solutions to the problem. Again, be very clear here, and make sure you have, these are 2 different ideas, so you want to separate them. So the purpose of this research is to find causes of employee stress and identify the organization, period. and maybe you should connect those two. I don't know. Just want to make sure. Sorry to say it like that. Like, you want to make sure that you are clear in giving your purpose. What's my role here? I'm going to find out what the causes of employee stress are and determine or offer recommendations to mitigate that. Limits of the research. The main limitation of the study is the reliance on answers given by employee in the survey. Okay. So instead of saying it like this, I would recommend to say this survey or this study acknowledges the qualitative nature of surveys. The results of the surveys or the results of the primary research are opinion based on employee surveys. So while specific to our industry, it is subjective in nature. Okay, so then methodology. Excellent. Your primary research is outlined here. And your secondary research, some other sources of information include, okay, I would be just direct. I would say scholarly journals and academic publications, discuss stress in workplaces in Japan, Africa, and the UK. The research points to the effects of stress and how to prevent it. I want you to comb through here and remove all of these I wills, I did. I just report what the research showed. This is secondary. Somebody else did that research. So remove all of the I did. We know you did the research. I know that. But what I need you to do is to report on what those scholars found. And then the literature review. Here we go. So you want to remove this title and just give the subheadings. This is your secondary research, is the literature review. And give the 3 topics. Here you go. Causes and stimulants of stress. Again, you want to, double check your in-text citations. So I have this quick little, this is just a little reference that we have. This is the type of original source. Let me open this up a little larger. If it's the original text, you want to put it in, you're just cut and pasting it, and then you put the author's name, the year, and the page. If you want to introduce a paraphrase, you're rewording it, the author, the year, the page. If you want to begin with a quote, begin with the author's last names and then quote, then you do the year in the text. Or you want to begin with the author's last name, put the year in, put the quote copied, and then the page number. So those are the 3, basic choices. You want to make sure you follow those in your, go back through looking at your in-text citations. But what you've done is a great job of showing, highlighting in that secondary research section what others have found and the effects. So then let's scroll down here. Okay, great. Again, you want to, excuse me, you want to make sure that you eliminate any subjective references. Just point to, Ballack and McLean showed, blah, blah, blah. Newbern discussed, blah, blah, blah. Gorder shares. And so that you want to select those that are very specific to your industry, to your workplace. So you want to go down to results. All right, here is where I'm not sure where your primary, I need to see a separate subheading. So let me show you this real quickly. So here's like a brief doc that I did to show the organization. You have the introduction, check, you have that. Methods, you just briefly describe the secondary research that you did. You briefly described how you conducted primary research. You've done that. Then findings, briefly describe. You want to have those 3 subheadings of secondary research. What did you notice from the secondary research? Secondary research shows A, describe it, B, describe it, and C, describe it. What does your primary research show? This is where you want to publish. You want to say, this is what I did and this is what I found. Maybe you have a graph, maybe you have a table, maybe you have some sort of documentation that you can show, and then list your recommendations. So your recommendations would be how this can be mitigated in your workplace. Let me scroll down. Sorry about that. So you have here, I need to end this and I'll start a second one.